I am attempting to beat William Byron's pole winning lap at Darlington of a time of a 28.774 second lap. Can we do it in a similar scenario of midday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time? Partly cloudy as well as a hot track temperature, mid 80 degrees on the track surface. I matched the weather and the temperatures as close as I could possibly get it, and now our goal is to try and beat that time of a 28.774. Immediately my first lap, I'm abusing the wall, and it wasn't pretty. My very first lap was a 30.249. Now, I was a bit confident in the fact that I could tell immediately I wasn't, running this track as good as I certainly could be, as I'm really struggling with the wall in 1 and 2, and I spent these first few laps trying to just get used to where I need to be here on this circuit. Now, I can probably get really close to William Byron's time at nighttime, but obviously his pole time was set in the middle of the day, so it is not going to be easy at all to actually beat his lap when we are matched in the same conditions, I felt like. So here we are running a 30.129, and I would get back on the track and see what I could do. Now, I gave myself 40 laps. That was my limit. I got 40 laps to try and beat William Byron's time. I'm hoping we can do it in like 15 to 20 laps, but who knows what we're going to, of course, need throughout this episode. We might not even beat that track record now, as we are continuing to kind of explore and just try different lines and just see what's working and what isn't. You can see the inside's really good on the entry and center, but kind of lacking on exit in 3 and 4, but we hit a 29.8, so just like that, we're 1.1 seconds off of Byron's time. Now, that wasn't a bad lap at all, so that was a bit concerning for me to run that kind of time. As you can see, finding some more time there out of turn 2, though, and then we barrel it off into 3 and 4, and running the higher lane, and then kind of diamonding it back down the racetrack, and look at the time gain there. So I immediately learned that if we really want to maximize our time, we just hit a 29.7, so just like that, we need 1 second of time now, but we are really going to need to utilize the entrance of 3 and 4 to be on the top and then go down, but you can see a mistake there. So I start messing with some setups here with the spring rates. Was the first thing I would go after, and then I messed with the toe. Was looking at the caster and the cambers as well, but really went for the toe and the springs here. And my first lap on this kind of adjustments that I had made, well, we're in the outside wall again. Not a huge deal if you clip the wall in 1 and 2. You can kind of make it work, and same for 3 and 4. It just depends how much you get into it. But I carry not enough speed into turn 3, but we gain it back through the center and then lose it right there on the exit of 4, and then even out to a really close margin, and we are still in the 29.7 second range, so still putting us a full second off of the 24 of William Byron's pole time. But look at the time we find right there, but then I just couldn't get the car to rotate on the exit of turn 2, gave up all the time, so we would find it though a lap later. Now a full 10th advantage over my fastest lap, but into 3 and 4 again, running higher up the racetrack, diamond it back down. This could be a new personal best, but we lose a bit out of 4. It's still going to be about 8/900ths of a second better. It's a 29.658. So now, okay, we're within 9/10ths of a second of William Byron on my 12th lap of this test session. Can we get a little bit closer on these adjustments as I crack the outside wall, and, well, it ends up with a bit of an incident there down the back straightaway. So obviously, back to the drawing board. My next thing was, okay, let's do tire pressure changes. Up on the rights, down on the lefts, and just trying to build heat really quickly and just get some maximum grip. Well, I completely didn't know what I was doing, apparently, because now I could barely keep the car in a straight line as I was losing it, and I said, okay, that's obviously not going to work. I did try to, stick with it for another lap or two, and it was the same result every time, specifically through 1 and 2, completely losing it. So I said, okay, that's not obviously the way to go here. So I reverted back to the original setup, just a default Darlington setup here, and we ran a personal best on a 29.658 with very minor changes on the springs and the toe. So can we find some more speed on the default setup? Well, we find some, and we give it away and crack the outside wall pretty good and kill the right front of the car. Now, lap 16 at this point in the test session. We're already almost halfway through, and we're still 9/10ths of a second off of the pole time, which is a good gain compared to where we were at the start of the session. But we are obviously not close enough, and I knew this one was going to be difficult to get too close to William Byron, and once again, out of turn 2, this is just tricky point, and crashing the car again. It's just, you gotta be so on edge and get it right against the wall on the exit of turn 2, maximize your mid-speed corner, or your mid-corner speed, and you can see I'm not doing a very good job of that now. Lap 18 didn't quite work out. We come to lap 19, still on the default setup, and we rolled through 1 and 2, and suddenly we kind of hooked things up here, exiting turn 2 down this back straightaway, right up against the outside wall. No big deal, that's what we're looking for. And there's 0.06 of a second gain, and then as we go down into turn 3 and 4, kind of keeping it lower this time. Instead of running up the racetrack, we might give up some time on the exit, not much at all. We actually gain a little bit there. We cross the stripe. It's a new personal best at 29.489 as we start lap 20, exactly halfway through, and now we are still 0.7 of a second off of William Byron, but still making some gains, pretty well dead even to my last lap here as we head down this back straightaway into turn 3. This time running higher up the racetrack, clipping the outside wall. That's going to cost us some time, but we actually maximize our exit speed, and it's going to go back in the right direction as we are right on the edge of our personal best at 29.503. And then as we dive down into 1 and 2, lap 21 at this point, right up against the outside wall. That's pretty well perfect, but I really had to check up. I downshift to 4th. We give up some time. We gain it back with the momentum though, down the back straightaway, maximizing the speed. Lose a little bit on the upshift, but as we dive down into turn 3, clipping the wall again, just a little bit, giving up some pace, but we maximize our corner exit at a 4, carry the momentum down the front straightaway, and it's only going to be 1/100 of a second gain, a new personal best of a 29.477 compared to Byron's 28.774, and that seemed to be all the pace that I could find for the next little while, as I was suddenly really struggling to find that pace again, and I was trying everything I could, and you can see again making some mistakes, and it just turned into mistake after mistake, just trying to find any more speed. And sometimes I would plow out of turn 2, sometimes of course I'd just knock the wall down, lose the rear end. You mentioned it, it was happening now, and at this point I had already made it to lap 30. Now lap 31, and still can't find the speed here. I could get close, I could get to within a 1/10 or 2. I was making some more setup changes again, just trying to find something as well. Nothing seemed to be working again at this point, and I was paying the price. You can see just plowing on the exit of turn 2, lap 33. We're running out of time, lap 36 at this point, and still nothing working. I was back to the default setup because that's where I'd been able to find the most speed. Everything I was doing was not working. So now to lap 40, the last chance I get to beat William Byron's pole time, and it just simply doesn't look like it's going to happen. Trying something very unique, just hitting the rev limiter in gear 4, just trying to keep it into 4th gear because I know that's going to be optimum for the turn 2 exit, but we give up a little bit of time. We're 100 to 200ths off now down this back straightaway. We're going to go to 3, maybe 400ths as we go down into turn 3 and 4, sailing it off into the corner. It's not going to be enough now as we exit turn 4. We gave ourselves 40 laps to try and beat William Byron's pole time, and we will end up 0.7 of a second off at the end of the day as Byron's 28.774 beats my 29.477. That lap time in real life would have put us in the 31st position. So not incredible, but maybe not terrible, as we'll end this episode full on board raw audio of my fastest lap on lap 21. If you guys enjoyed, let me know down below if you want to see this kind of continue going forward. I'll see you guys later, and as well I challenge you to beat my lap time, and certainly tag me, show me you beating my lap time or even William Byron's lap time. Have a great day.